pakuka kele bana ya besole marapa na kufa liza vile klenda jana dima mpango alikuja true story ndani mita sio what na panga majambo kona kakangu kaplea mtaza na been in the jungle patana hapo kando kakuna issue kakona mambo fanye kinga kurudisha shule sifika nambo yo kataveli na stingo mbichi I'm tryna count the paper until my fingers is itchy skili control kutusilalishi naipiga kama rufuku sila bola ziishi so no you can't control me y'all don't call me on but man I see a vaka the your and if I die my legacy is gone carry on that's the best to ever do it don't you compare me sina tuna control tunakuja na weita tunakutoa roho roho wakilia tunakula kuta watalete machupa vile machupa I'm taking Mumble Crop to the next levels. Mwambeni yule mtoto moto huu haingii kitonga tachokipata ni wifi wanachokifanya katika round here pati hata sale mana nimeza na plan B young king flow zao za kitozi zimekataliwa ni uchafu kama kinga zilizovaliwa mimi nataka kile kiti kilichokaliwa smandi mikuchana sana babu ndo nilipozaliwa sikia sasa mimi nazisaka chapa nikijikita kapuni na bonga na lamata najitolea mistari kisha naingia chaka mkirudi na kamata na vipenda DJ choka sanchoka sina muda kubishana na vijana fake kiniona na tajiri basi na pishana bank mimi na wanangu kama Samantha na Gek huwezi kuleta stories za kimama mata point OMG ipo that's my dream team chocha rock bongo tulishain team matozi wana kujikuta wenda wazi jiona ni dailo minikuta na YG shake when I lala studio na umpepa kuchi sevi.
To another episode of the Pan-African Diary right here on the Black Hot Fire Network radio station, media of the 21st century, and of course, karibuni sana to everyone with us. Let us know how you're feeling today, and of course, welcome to another episode right here. This is all about political conversation regarding what is happening across the African continent. So in case you're listening to us via the radio, remember to pin your comments via the show page, and for those who are with us, those who shall be catching this on Spotify, also remember to let us know how you feel, what do you need in terms of correction, in terms of sound, and for those who are with us on TikTok, karibuni sana. Remember tunaweza tupata kwa mitandao mingine like Facebook, Twitter, we are literally everywhere, on YouTube, and rush to the Google Play Store. Once again, I keep on reminding you every single day, kama auna our app and you're on TikTok and you literally keep on missing all the shows and you love our conversations, kindly go to Google Play Store and of course download the Black Hot Fire Network app, and it gives you the chance once again to be able to still use Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram as you get to listen to Black Hot Fire Network. Shout out to Nudge, thank you so much for following us. You're also saying looking fantastic, we appreciate it. And of course my name is Joby, I'm the captain of the show today. We got Katie in the building as well.
What's up good people, karibuni sana to another episode of the Pan-African Diary, women who understand politics, and I hope you're going to enjoy this conversation with us. Karibuni sana, my name is Katie, in case you're joining us for the first time.
Yes, you heard it, and of course do enjoy the conversation with us. We're here for 2 hours, and of course we are looking forward to see your compliment, your sentiments. Shall be taking a short musical break, coming back with the quotes of the day. But the first jam I played, that was Machupa by the one and only Capnia featuring Caterpillar, and it's playing right here on the Black Hot Fire Network radio station. Also we have Young Lunya. Like I said, this is one among my best songs currently, and I'm in love literally, and I hope you get to bang into it. We shall be coming back shortly after this.
Calm down, relax, sit back. Mishabiki wa damu wa Msimbazi Simba. Kwa kukinukisha nimelikalisha kimba. Banya paka kafika cha kukushauri chiza. Fika mpaka ulipo, fuata pesa zilipo. Piga pini pande zote, haleluya wilipo. Bladi kubwa Filipo, sitishwi na vitisho. Vina vimepangiliwa mwanzo kati na mwisho. Nafanya jambo ghetto facts live, fighting for my life to live. Nipo studio wana mwita weta lete cut to live. Shida yako weni wa kitabu mechakata tis. First hard
my pre-birthday.
Take you up.
And of course, asanteni sana to everyone who shall be sending their gifts.
So big.
Those who have already sent their gifts.
Go man, go
I'm
man.
looking forward to much more.
Bigger pity.
I appreciate you all. And of course, asanteni sana once
My
again.
God, baby. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Ili dundo madawa kulevya. Here we go. Sio wauni tunafuata pesa. Here we go. Haya sasa kama unavyotona. Here we go. Here we go. Shpabi kama gari naiko. Going speed like I'm Fosco.
And of course, it's a new month. Happy new month to everyone. And my quote of the day today is, before we get started with the conversation of the day, is I hope this December the weather outside is gonna be brightful for you. People around you are gonna be cheerful. Music you hear is gonna be soulful. Days you spend are meaningful. Views you see are beautiful. Decisions you make are mindful. Even every moment you are grateful for. Your mind should be full of life. That is my December wish to everyone.
My quote of the day says, be careful with your words. Once they are said, they can only be forgiven, not forgotten.
Okay, but anyway, happy new month to everyone, and of course keep it positive all the way right here on the Blackout Fire Network. How have you been, Katie?
I've been good.
How has the month of November been for you?
So far, so okay. It's over.
It's over.
It has been good. Yeah.
Happy new month, and of course I'm looking forward to see what December has in store for me. Personally, today is my pre-birthday and I'm super excited. I can't wait to see the presents I'm gonna be receiving. Like I said, I'm already receiving presents and I'm so grateful. I can't wait to see also the Sunday, which is my main birthday, how it's gonna turn out, if I'm gonna be with the hype or if I'm gonna be chill. But I'm turning big to 5 and I'm grateful, manze. 365, you know, around the clock in it, and personally I'm really grateful. I see we got months like the goat. I call you the goat, yeah. If you know, you know. I call you the goat personally. I can't pronounce your name. You see that I'm grateful for you, for your sunglasses. Okay, that is for Katie.
Thank you.
Alright, but anyway, karibu sana, let us know how the month of November being for you, and of course happy new month, and let us know what are you looking forward to towards the end of the month. Literally yesterday we were having a very amazing conversation before I get started, and we were talking about the pros and cons. That was the Char and I and Kamlesh on the Black Kings frequency, and we were discussing about the reviews of 2023. I'd love to hear from you, because personally I gave mine and I'll give a few I didn't. How has 2023 been for you? What have you faced? What have you learned? And what would you tell someone at your age right now what they should expect by the time they get into your age, rather, for those who are looking up to you?
Well, expect to make mistakes, and since I'm still young, I believe I'm very young, and I have a room of making mistakes and correcting them. So don't be hard on yourself. Allow yourself to make mistakes, but also not now being comfortable with your mistakes. Allow to make mistakes, and now learn to correct your mistakes. And remember, now a mistake is not a mistake if it's not repeated. A mistake is a mistake once you start repeating it. So this age, I'll tell you, if you're just young like me, it's okay to make mistakes. People make mistakes, and just understand that you're young, you're naive, but there's a room for improvement, there's a room for change, and now learning more and getting better all the time.
Which among the months of the year that are you literally grateful for, and that you can say you faced challenges, and that, as we speak of learning?
I believe during the start of the year was the hardest part of my life, around February, and I learned to overcome. I learned to overcome all my challenges at the end of the day, and all I can say, I'm a conqueror. I'm a conqueror.
Which has been the best month?
I don't have a best. I mean, the year has taught me a lot.
Okay.
The year has taught me a lot, and I cannot say this was my best month. The year has been good for me. I have been grateful for the lessons. I keep on, myself, me as a me, I keep on telling myself, even if these things go the way you wanted, imagine it's a lesson, and next year you will not have to go through the same because you learned from it. So I don't say that now this was the worst month and this was the best. The year was good.
Okay,
yeah.
That's nice to hear from you. We shall be looking forward to hear from also those who are listening to us. I think we discussed a lot yesterday with our audience, and we had a lot of people saying what they have gone through, amazing experiences. It was so nice. Personally, I'm grateful once again for the year. I can't also say I have the best month or the worst month. It's been literally neutral for me, super amazing. But one of the challenges, again, I said and I'll keep on saying, that I've faced this year, and I'm hoping next year is gonna be actually very more easier for me, is being a boss under people. That has been a very, very big challenge for me, and I'm learning. I've grown confidently through it, because it was really shaky at the beginning. It's still shaky, but we're pushing through it. Just like what Katie said, if this doesn't work this way, there's always other plans waiting better for you. But I can't say the year has been literally tough on me.
Actually, looking back, I have achieved a lot of things this year, and I can't wait for 2024. Manze, 2024 be good and be bigger and be harder.
It shall be. Received with positivity, it shall be. But happy new month once again. Today we shall be talking about ECOWAS as our major focus of the day. On 10th of December, we're supposed to see the Western African nations, bringing their summit right here in Abuja, Ethiopia, if I'm not wrong. And we are looking for, shall be discussing on that.
Abuja is not in Ethiopia.
Abuja is, oh, sorry, Nigeria, sorry. I confused Addis Ababa and Abuja.
Oh.
The AB, yeah? And that is in Abuja, Nigeria. So we shall be looking forward to see what Nibu, of course, him being the president of the, yeah, the host of the guest. We shall be looking forward, of course, as we read the article, what is happening. But straight and forward, what is happening in other parts of the country. There's actually, I want to start with something positive. There's this woman who's 70 years old, and she's given birth to twins in Uganda. 70 years of age in Uganda has given birth to twins. This is something I'd say that has been taken very impossible. I think for the longest time, and since me growing up, since literally I recognize myself as a lady, as a woman, understanding my feelings, needs and wants, who to do what and what to do not, I've had so many women and even men, literally even men, and a shout out to Kamlesh, I also heard you say this, I've had men saying that, oh, for a lady you need to give birth at your early 20s, at your 30 you should just unalea, because ukishafika menopause, which they claim it is 45 for women, or 50, you won't be able to give birth. And even most of the women stop menstruating and all that by the time they hit 50 or 45. So I'm like, how comes we have this a miracle that has happened? Has Jesus done it?
No, what happened is this woman gave birth, or she got pregnant through IVF.
Okay.
And IVF is vitro fertilization. It's the joining of a woman's egg and a man's sperms in a laboratory dish.
Yeah.
And the in vitro means outside the body. Fertilization means the sperm has attached to the entered egg. But at the end of the day, congratulations to the woman.
Yeah.
And if
It's
we
the
talk,
strength. You're not talking about 70 years of age. The strength of pushing the baby too.
it's outside.
Outside.
Yeah.
Wait. A 70-year-old Ugandan woman.
It's outside. The fertilization takes outside,
Okay.
and she underwent now under cesarean.
Yeah.
Yeah. The baby now.
She carried the baby.
Yeah,
though.
she carried the baby.
Now pushing the baby.
She didn't push. She went under a
Yes.
cesarean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. She went
yes.
under cesarean. But also, imagine a womb of a 70-year-old woman being capable of holding two babies. It's a blessing, and also we can say that now the menopausal limit of an African woman, there is no
Giving
actually
birth.
limit.
Yeah.
Because I believe we had a woman at the age of this woman also welcomed a baby 3 years ago while she was 67. She was 67, definitely. And we can say that a black woman is blessed. There is no limit of, or rather, there is no menopausal time, because if you can give birth at the age of 70, if you can carry a baby in your womb at the age of 70, and not even one baby, two
Yeah.
babies, it means that you can even give birth
Nothing is
at the age
impossible.
of 70.
Yeah, it is not impossible. Personally, I also do believe actually without the fertilization of eggs outside, I believe, like you just said, the menopausal limitation, it's not there. But especially for black women, it shouldn't be there. I believe women should have the ability to give birth at any time and any age. So maybe kama una strength ya push, you can go through the CS, you know, like you had it, but the miracle is not like it is impossible. But starting again with other matters of what is happening, I want to take us back, because since we're talking about babies, there are women in Kenya who are sterilized. That was back in 2015.
Yeah.
And this was actually did not happen, because I did some research, and there's a time I spoke about it heavy as a whole topic, I think on one of the Africa Today shows, and I saw actually in Nigeria today it is still happening. In some parts and communities in Nigeria, this is still going on. In some parts of Zimbabwe, this also happened in 2015. In Kenya, where we also had 500,000 of people, you know, being sterilized, and all this, it happened. There's a time, I think during this year, we saw 4 women were compensated, right?
Yeah.
If you can remember. And this actually brought a lot of controversial and questions towards what is really, really going on when it comes to who's going to pay for the damages done to the people, you know, that has passed through the government, or rather those who have passed through the government. But there's this video, I want to share the audio. I was trying to find the article of it. Personally, I haven't. Let me try see it. So these women are talking about how they were told they can't have babies because they are HIV positive. I've seen women who are HIV positive, and they give
birth to healthy babies.
Yes, exactly. So I don't understand why the government, because this I believe actually should be, was in 2020, that was Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta, through his government and still is deputy president, I believe there's some answers that needs to be literally given about why this was allowed in the country, and nobody faced charges about it. But
and
instead,
you know, the crazy part is that they sterilized these women unknowingly.
imagine.
They didn't know what was happening to them.
for
So
this
they are trying to conceive, they cannot get a baby just because the government decided we're sterilizing these women because they are HIV positive. But do you know what's the fear of the government? I believe the fear of the government is for the mothers to pass the disease or the virus to the children. But we've seen women who give birth to healthy babies, and they end up not infecting them. So I don't believe that this is the right way to go about this. You just have to educate these women. You don't have to sterilize a person just because they are HIV positive and you believe they can transmit the disease to the child.
Mind you, they also wanted to sterilize because actually in Nigeria it is of students. I remember my sister, shout out to her, she was one of the people who escaped that, because shout out to her, she was clever to come and ask back at home, like, yo, Shulia, we've been forced to do this and this, and we're being told if you don't do this, this is what we've got.
During that time, it was in my era. I remember I was in Form 2 or Form 1. We were being forced to take that vaccine, some vaccine, but you know, our school being a Catholic sponsored school, I believe we are lucky. We were lucky at that time because our school didn't allow just the government to come and give us medicine like that. So we had letters. They came first. They approached our school, and the principal told them, you cannot vaccinate these children without their parents' consent. So we were given letters, and if the parents agreed, they would sign. But if the parents didn't agree, they would not sign the paper. So my mom said no, and I didn't get it.
Wow, that's
You
nice.
are getting at the age of 12, from the age of 12.
Because I remember my sister was around, I think, class 7, 6, if I'm not wrong, class 6, 7 up or 5. Then she came and questioned, then I was like, no. And our school also, actually I don't know how ours we escaped, because me I was also in high school. Was I in high school or out of high school? Siwezi kumbuka, but nakumbuka shule to us being of a mzungu, none of that happened. And especially being of a mzungu, it's supposed to happen. So we were saved as well. This is super, super crazy. But let me share the audio of what these women are saying, then we move on.
We used to be told if you're HIV positive, you're not supposed to give birth. That is why they started. We used to be told if you're HIV positive, you're not supposed to give birth. That is why they sterilized us. I gave birth to twins, attended a postnatal clinic that was providing mothers living with HIV with free medicine and baby formula. The attending nurse told me that if I did not get on family planning, I would not be given my share of milk. What family planning method? I asked. She responded by saying tubal ligation. I was shocked. When I
went into labor, I was immediately prepared to go to the operating room. Little did I know they intended to conduct tubal ligation as they were delivering my baby. As I was being wheeled into the room, they quickly gave me some papers to sign. I thought I was simply consenting to the cesarean section.
This is under the leadership, when these people were being affected, is the one, literally the leader who was in chair, the people who allowed this to get into the country. And even these papers, I didn't know the people were being told to sign papers by force. This is crazy. Because that is basically, once you put a sign on it, like you've agreed and you've been forced. It's not because you want to.
And remember, at that time you are in the hospital because you are in pain. Sometimes you have no even time to read what is written on the paper. And you have to sign it at the end of the day because you need treatment.
This is so sad. This is so sad.
The day after I delivered my baby, the nurse came around for her usual rounds. I was in a lot of pain. That's when the nurse told me that it was because I was recovering from 2 surgical procedures, a cesarean section and a tubal ligation. I was in great shock.
And they were awarded about 20,000 USD each by the Kenyan courts. You know, that was 4 of them, because I remember, I think it's the same case, and this is in an audio form, and we still have more, those who cannot even be able to talk about it because of the pain, the heartbreak they feel.
Some of them don't even understand that happened. they just think that
you can wake up, you have pain in your, you know, and you don't question that.
So sometimes you don't have pain. You know, sterilization is just the closure of the tube, and then that's it. So maybe she just thought that now maybe masaa yangu ya kukosa kupata mtoto imefika, or you know, sometimes we are told as women we might have 2 ovaries that are fertile.
2 ovaries?
No, you can even have 1 or none. Okay. This is what they say. So they just assume, maybe those women just assume, maybe I had 2 ovaries, I gave birth to 2 babies, and then my ovaries were done, the fertile ones.
This is crazy, man. But I won't finish with the whole audio and everything. It is super wrong, and I believe in every African country where we've had women who have gone through this, because it is without their consent, where you've been forced to sign papers of you not being able to get a baby. This is literally depopulation in another form again. Because if I want to take family planning, it should be my own choice, not be me being forced to sign papers that I have no idea what I'm literally signing and giving myself into. This is this is crazy. To add salt to the injury, still continues. We've seen the effects of polio. We've talked about it literally. I think we spoke about it also last week, where we saw a couple of things happening in the African continent. It still goes on, where we see in Cameroon, in Kenya. I don't know if you've seen also in Kenya, the same issue in Cameroon.
Malaria,
the vaccine. It's also in Cameroon, where we have children also, not really children, but the whole country is battling to fight malaria. And the vaccines, I can see that so far they're saying that Cameroon,
the first batch got
in Kenya and Ghana.
Yeah, in Ghana got it in yesterday. In Kenya, has it gotten here right here?
Yeah, Kitambo.
Yeah.
It was actually, I think it was in Ghana. I don't know if it was yesterday, but I remember I read that. Then I think Nigeria, but it has not yet approved. Then Kenya. It will be Kitambo. But they say the Cameroon's health minister, Dr. Manandu Malachi, has urged the population to trust government's health policy. That's what those women probably were told to do, amid growing skepticism over the malaria vaccine, which arrived the country 9 days ago. In a statement made on Wednesday, which he detailed that the benefits of the RTS vaccine is the fight against malaria, praising the outcome of the testing phase in Kenya, Ghana, and Malawi. So this is just a testing phase. They're not even sure about it. This is so crazy. I don't want to talk much about medicines and everything. We know the rules of YouTube, and we support you as WHO. You know, just be very careful of what you're really doing. You know, take care of our Africans, because they really need this. And I urge also the Africans, you should be very aware. I was trying to look at videos, ways where how Africans used to deal with malaria, and we used to have actually recipes. And I think one of which, I don't know of malaria, but I know of Homa.
Yesterday I was
Malaria.
going through some channel and I was seeing we even have natural ways to treat ulcers.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, for all this time we've been taking medication and it has not been working for us, because
Yeah.
if it is working,
It had
we
shots to
should,
the engine.
we should not have ulcers up to date. And I was seeing, oh, this is something that is doesn't even require time to make it, doesn't require money. You just, you buy 2 bananas, raw bananas, you cut them, put them in drinkable water, let them lie there overnight, drink it in the morning, and that's it. Imagine, that's it. That's a cure for ulcers.
It helps once, or you have to do it like regularly?
Like you have to keep on
regularly.
yeah, drinking it.
Wow, okay, that's really, really amazing. Personally, I think that is a recipe I'd use, because I do have a very bad acidity when it comes to ulcers. But again, I hope African people, at this point, I bet actually the African people have been affected by the fact that they have lost their children. You should be able to be aware of what is happening. If you've lost your child through what the government tells you, trust us or we got you, you should actually start questioning. You as a community, especially if it is this as an effect of a community, for example, like in Gabon, 78 children dying and just being compensated. This is what they keep on doing. With every damage these people keep on doing, it's always a compensation of money. But nobody's gonna be charged or questioned about the damage that has happened. The damage has already been created. So how do you undo that? That's just a simple question. How do you undo the damage that has already been done?
It's crazy.
You
And they
can't.
want to compensate.
You
life.
cannot. You cannot. It is super, super crazy. But shout out to Kenya, shout out to Ghana, shout out to Malawi. Malawi, I think Malawi.
I think Kenya nowadays is being referred as the pilot country.
Pilot country, indeed. I don't know if you guys shared the video of there's this guy who went ahead and said Kenya is becoming a puppet of the IMF. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see.
Yeah, this guy went out and called on Kenya being a puppet of the IMF, and I don't want to say literally it's Kenya alone, because we've seen so far it's a copy and paste issue that is happening in the African continent. I don't know if you saw, we were talking about this yesterday, Cyril Ramaphosa being accused of reading a speech from the
I
artificial
actually talked
intelligence.
about that, and I wonder, because I remember in these people have their advisors. They have people who are supposed to make sure that they write speeches for them. But why would you read a speech that is written by the AI? It means that you have no concern for the people. You're just there to make a speech.
You can barely construct a sentence
And
from your
go.
head. You can barely make a speech because you have no plans for the people. Let me tell you, if you have a plan you should be able to visualize and let your vision come out through words. That is what you do. You being a leader, if you have a plan, let's the same way with the business, You can't just say, I want to start a business, you don't have a capital, you want to go just rent a house for where? For free, where? You must have a plan in everything you want to execute. And basically what you can see from these leaders is that they lack a way of executing their plans. I don't know if I'll get the video, but this guy called out on Kenya and saying that this is becoming a puppet state, and actually it is all the African countries. They have become a puppet state where we can see easily signing deals. So far we have so many companies, state-owned companies that have been given away, and nobody again has addressed this. But after your video, as we get to move on, I can't remember in which page specifically it was, but this guy was very angry and he said Kenya is becoming the puppet of the IMF. Let me see.
Good morning, Samuel. Karibu sana. Kid is saying because it's synthetic and unhealthy. And also Samuel is saying morning to you too. Kid is also saying the African government don't give a shit about their people. You would be a moron to trust them. Very true. And this is why we have a Ramaphosa who would just wake up and decide, I'm going to ask an AI to write me a speech of which I'm going to read in front of the people. And this means that it shows how this person is so not concerned about you. You do whatever you want. I'll just come here, read a speech. And this is how they do. This is how they do it all the time. Because most of their speeches you hear, you're like, okay. And also most of the promises, they learn to promise us a lot. But now when it comes to fulfilling them, It's so crazy. Like our president one day said that he wonders why his promises takes long
to execute.
to execute or to fulfill. And most of the time it's because he doesn't mean them. Yeah, if I didn't mean something that I promised to somebody, I will not be able to fulfill it because at first I didn't mean it. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, but I can't see the video right now, and I don't know what in which page specifically it is on, but we shall, if I find it, I'll be sharing it to, rather we shall have the host of the Rhythm Scoop Show share the video with us. But as we move on, I also want, of course, to talk about what is happening in Somali, and this has been affecting Kenya as well. We have so many lives that have been lost in Somali, in Kenya as well. Shout out to Rigathi Gachagua, our deputy president. He said the main reason why we have the number of deaths, which has actually, it has gotten to 100, and I didn't know it was this high. The total number of deaths from the floods in the 254 has gotten to 100 and something. I don't know the specific number, but our deputy president, it was this week, he said the result of this is because majority of the people are going and dragging themselves to the floods, which actually I kind of support him, because it's true. I've seen some fools who are going, it's flooded, no neka tu mguu hapo. That is just a pure fact. There's some people are just ignorant. When you speak of Africans being ignorant at that level, that is what you call ignorance. Where you can see purely, this is death. The road has been splitted. This is a tarmac. It's a tarmac road that has been splitted into two, but you have the audacity thinking you can hold the strength of the floods. At that point, I do support it. But let's talk about the funds that were allocated again for El Nino. In Somali, I'm not sure, but let me see. Let's see, because I think the Somali, all these presidents keep on taking the loans all the same. So I'm certain there were funds also allocated for maybe such crisis in Somali, or even in any African country that has been warned about any climate change. There are always funds allocated for 1, 2, 3 things. So how comes these funds won't cater for what is supposed to happen? Let me see. How much was funded in Somali for flooding? I don't know if I pulled the question correctly, but I see in 2023, that was in November 9th, with nearly 1.2 million people in Somali already affected by heavy rains and flooding. More expected. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has released $25 million to help people in the country brace against the impact of the disasters. $25 million, that is a lot of money if I to literally, change it into the currency of Somali. And I'm certain all the displaced people, none of them have even been given a camping site. Majority of these people are just maybe even running to their neighbors or family friends who can help them. If literally you can get true information of what is happening in Somali, it is super crazy. But to top on it, let me get to read the article of what is happening, of how El Nino has affected majority of the homes in Somali. They're saying the Somali authorities say more than 1 million people have now been forced to abandon their homes in the country because the floods caused by El Nino weather phenomenon, and that the heaviest rains in more than 2 decades have caused widespread destruction. 2 decades. The heaviest rain in more than 2 decades. God damn, it's not rained in 2 decades in Somali.
Yeah, remember these people are the same people who are hit by droughts.
The heaviest rain in more than 2 decades have caused widespread destruction, displacement.
That doesn't mean that it hasn't rained in 2 decades. They are
the heaviest. I know,
yeah.
But again, how many times do you keep on? There's a time Kenya did take food to Somali because of hunger and drought. So meaning even the rain they do, or the expectation of rain, is not even always that reliable in terms of even harvesting water or even creating dams and such kind of things. They're saying that the heaviest rains in more than 2 decades have caused widespread destruction, displacement, and death across the whole of Africa. It comes as a world leaders gather in Dubai to discuss the climate crisis. That is the COP28 summit, which you can see so far there's no way it has helped. And at least 270 people have reported to have died in Somali. And 270 people. And in Kenya and southern Ethiopia, as the continental region which is coming out of prolonged drought braces for further territorial rains. In Somali alone, more than 100 people have died in flash floods, and whole towns have been submerged, forcing nearly their entire population to seek shelter elsewhere. And President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has said the country is in a critical state. But you've been given money, baby. So where's the money? How comes these people again, Somali, with all the funds you've gotten, I don't know since when you acquired independency, all the money that has been allocated for all the damages that might, or all the damages that you have faced before, you want to tell me, Kate, you know, wewe ukiaffectiwa sahi na floods, next time unafaa kujua unafaa kufanya nini to get water out of the house, right? You should be well prepared how you're gonna deal with the crisis of drought and heavy rains. This is a joke again, like we always say in the African continent.
It's the ignorance, because even looking back to Kenya, in the northern part of Kenya, right now, these people were dying because of floods. And the same people during the dry season, they are the same people who will be dying because of hunger and drought. And it's crazy because it's the same thing that has been happening in Ethiopia. The same people we are talking about being carried away by floods or being affected by floods are the same people we shall hear next year crying because there is drought and famine. So it has been the same process of repetition of events where African leaders, they don't care about their people. Because let's talk about the northern part of Kenya. And you know why most of the African countries or most of places, like even in the UAE, let's talk about Dubai and Qatar, we saw flooding in such places. It's because it's sandy, and you know sand has no capacity of holding water. This is why it floods, and it means that now you have to build proper drainage in that area. So one, they lack proper drainage, and instead of even building a drainage in that area, you should be building a harvesting system, water harvesting system, because this water that is killing people can be stored for the drought season, for the dry season. Remember, these people, we shall be hearing, come next year, we shall be hearing the same people crying of hunger, and we shall be counting deaths of animals and the people. So why is ignorance everywhere in Africa? Because these people are ignorant, and also they are puppets. Because you cannot tell me it is in Ethiopia right now, it is in Somalia, it is in Kenya. People are dying because of the same thing. In Ethiopia, actually, as we are speaking, there's some part where it's flooding, and there's some part that these people are suffering because of droughts. People are dying because of hunger in the same country, and people are dying because of floods in the same country. It doesn't make sense.
It's a joke.
If these leaders were thinking about these people, they would have built a system that is harvesting this water to help these people in drought. But they don't do that because they are not concerned.
It's not literally their motion. It is just super crazy. I don't know really what to say on that particular situation. It's a calls again for revolution of the people, because history will keep on repeating itself. Even if I will not be existing by that time, you'll hear literally my children or my great-grandchildren or the great-grandchildren that are yet to come of such kind of places facing the same calamities, because there's nothing and nobody ever rose their voice to demand for what is rightfully supposed to be given to the people and the country. This is selfishness. This is what we talk about, corruption, every single time. But like I spoke about corruption, we need to actually start with the main root cause of corruption. Who is in control of corruption in Africa? Who gets to say what should happen and shouldn't do? And if so, why are you giving us this money if you're literally in control of my plans? I don't. But then let this make sense. How comes these presidents keep on taking money, but when it comes to them implementing what is supposed to be implemented with the funds, they won't do it, but they'll still have to follow rules?
The funds come with the conditions.
Why? You're gonna pay, right? Are you gonna pay in conditions?
No,
but
those are the conditions for me to lend you money.
Oh, come on.
In case you need my money, you have to follow what I say. And that's it. And this is how these lenders are set up. And this is why you find that loan money is never going to develop. Even you, on yourself. Look at now loan money. Look at yourself right now. Let's imagine you're going to take a loan somewhere. This money is coming with conditions. One, the first condition, these are time period that you're supposed to pay this money. Also, the condition is by this time you should pay me. And also, you should pay with these interest rates.
Which is very highly taxed.
Yeah. So these are the conditions, and sometimes look at a place like China. China gives you money. They tell you if this money is for construction, you have to hire our constructors. Why? You have to hire our constructors, and this is why now you find that now the money they have given you, it's supposed to build you, but it's not building you, because if I hire the Chinese constructors, the money returns to their economy. It doesn't come to my economy. Remember, I was taking this money to help you, but I'm paying this money to your Chinese people. So the money is returning back to your economy. So how is the money going to help you while it's not running in your economy? So this is why you find a lot of times in Africa, we take money, we take loans, and they are actually, it's like we are locking ourselves in cells, because one, we are indebted, we are in a chain where we are not able to repay this money back, because one, the interest rates, and also the conditions, sometimes they are too harsh. Look at the Chinese. They came, they gave us money for the expressway. They came with their constructors. They told us you have to give to hire our constructors. They came, they took the constructors, they hired them, they built the road that was unfinished or incomplete. Look at the drainage system. Even they started putting mandarin on the roadside.
Yeah.
So those are the consequences of taking loans.
Well, I think we've seen so far how SGR is working. We had $1 billion. Shout out to Dimore. This was actually in 2022. $1 billion was paid to a known source, which was supposed to be for SGR debt. $1 billion, a known source, and it was supposed to be the money we're paying back for the SGR.
And you'll find that this unknown source is actually a Chinese man. You'll find this. It's actually a Chinese man, but now not on the right way. So, you know, these people are thieves. The reason they are giving you this money is to keep you imprisoned in the debt, to keep you indebted, to keep you in a chain that you'll never remove yourself. So, you'll find this money was paid to a Chinese firm that was required to be paid, but now I bet the payment was not done in the right way, and this is why they are saying that this money never got to the right hands.
It is so crazy. It is super crazy. But anyway, we're gonna see what's the next condition of the next coming El Nino. You know, if the same situation is what we're gonna be reporting again, if Kenya would have come with a better way of dealing with water. We keep on going, or rather facing blackouts. They can't create dams, you know, to literally be able to compensate in terms even of electricity.
It's crazy.
It's just super sad. Actually, in a country like Somalia, I don't know if they even have electricity. Let me see. They do, but what's the percentage? Let's see. Because the country is just, the fact is just the image of Somalia is just always drought. You know, children were just always skinny, children were just suffering and have kwashiorkor and all types of disease. Just crazy. What's the percentage of people with electricity in Somalia? What is the percentage of people with electricity in Somalia? So that's goddamn.
According to U.S. Agency for International Development, only an estimated 16% of the population has access to electricity.
Somalia has high traffic compared to neighboring countries Kenya and Ethiopia. Wow. 16%. That's the population. Let me see. What's the population of Somalia? 17 million.
In 2021, the population of Somalia was 17,065,581.
That was the total. So by now, I don't know if it has gone high or if it is still going, if it has gone high or gone low, but this is super crazy. In a country, 17 million people. only 16% have electricity. So sad. While you have literally funds allocated for all these crises, like we saw yesterday, South Africa, being donated 450 generators. How sure are we this is gonna work? That's just the question. How reliable is this? They have come up with all sorts of.
It's not reliable. Remember, everything that comes, like in favor, it comes with conditions. So it's not reliable.
So sad, Manze. Super, super sad. But moving on swiftly.
Before you move on,
Okay.
I had you mentioned about the COP28, and I want to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
And the nations are supposed to finalize fund to compensate developing nations hit by climate change. And remember, the developing nations are like African countries.
Yeah.
The African countries, or Africa, is the one receiving carbon credits. So I've seen climate experts who are impressed with the discussions on the first day of COP 28 in Dubai on that day.
Yeah.
As nearly all nations finalized the creation of a fund to help compensate countries struggling to cope with the loss and damage caused by climate change. So I'm like, we are suffering the loss, or we are struggling to cope with the loss and damage caused by climate change. Do you mean that? Because it doesn't make sense. A country like Kenya, we are supposed to receive carbon credits, but what loss have we incurred from climate change? This is so crazy because it doesn't make sense. Because I believe the climate change we're talking about, we are taking a burden of other people, the carbon emitters, And Sultan Al-Jaber, the president of COP28 climate conference, hailed the first decision to be adopted on day one of any COP, and his country and the United Arab Emirates would chip in $100 million to the fund. Other countries stepped up with big ticket commitments, including Germany, also at $100 million. Developing nations have long sought to address the problem of inadequate funding for responding to climate disasters caused by climate change, which hit them especially hard and for which they have little responsibility. Historically, industrialized countries have swept out the most carbon emissions that are trapping heat in the atmosphere. Senior advocate of the Natural Resources Defense Council, Joe Thwaites, said the pledges are made seconds after fund was passed through the unprecedented. Vanish Passoud, special climate envoy for Barbados, who was part of the talks to finalize fund, praised the agreement but added that a significant amount of money would need to be contributed. And remember, this whole thing, the carbon credit thing, was passed in Africa, actually in our country Kenya, during the first time we hosted the Africa Climate Summit. And we are seeing that now African countries are supposed to receive the carbon credits. And remember, the carbon credits, if we start receiving the carbon credits, it means that we're taking the burden of countries or continents like the US, Asia, because those people are the biggest carbon emitters. In Africa, we don't emit carbon, and if we do,
China.
it doesn't get to
China has the biggest.
yeah, it doesn't get to 10%. So why are we doing this as African nations? But remember, the aim is to support the climate change thing and say, there's climate change and everything. And initials towards creating the fund was a major accomplishment at last year's UN climate conference in Egypt, but was never finalized. Even after that day's agreement, many details of the loss and damage fund were left unresolved, such as how large it would be, how would administer it over the long term, and more. A recent report by the United Nations estimates up to $387 billion will be needed annually if developing countries are to adopt to climate-driven changes. Why are we supposed to adopt to climate-driven changes? Climate-driven changes. Why are we supposed to be adopting to this?
The funds.
Eh?
The funds.
Because of the funds.
Yeah.
But why do we need the funds then? For us to adopt to climate-driven changes?
What is so sad is to see these are grown. We're talking about grown men. We're not talking about children. We're talking about literally grown men. Because if I look at the percentage of even women in politics is not really that high. Apart from the wives, the first ladies, the daughters, the family, which is always the family majority of the times. The extension family is the prime minister of finance of this and this, you know, always just that. We're talking about grown men who won't just say no to such kind of decisions. You know how effective this is to your country, to your continent? But you still gonna bow down, bootlicking, like we call it, pardon my French. But that is what it is. I don't understand why African leaders won't just form unity. All this, they don't have power. You can create power, literally. You can create, you're talking about a whole continent. How many countries in it, and how many people? Through the help of the people, you want to tell me you cannot get rid of the Rothschild and the Rockefellers, and if it's war, educate your people, we're ready for war. All this is just crazy. That's insane. That is crazy.
A climate-driven change.
In the developing countries, you mean continent where you still, it's crazy how they call us developing, but you're extracting the wealth that you live under and on and sit on, which is ours. Starting from the chairs, coming to literally everything. It's all coming from Africa, and the people doing it, sorry, it's children who have to deny themselves education to put you on a suit that you're walking on. So sad and super shameful. They should be, African leaders, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm not scared to say so. You should be ashamed of yourself. You have failed the continent, and that is what it is. You have totally failed. I don't know why we headed with the climate change bullshit, but personally I've seen, there's a time we were talking about with Kamlesh, Zimbabwe, Malawi, South Africa. I've been warned to watch out about the next coming climate changes. They always come up with a warning. So we're not sure if it is droughts.
Madagascar, the heat wave. They're calling it heat wave.
What's next after the heat wave? Because it's always, we have to check also the effect, how the people get affected. It all ends and comes back to us, the civilians. We are literally the ones in this problem that has already been signed by a bunch of literally illiterate puppets. It's just so crazy, man. That is what is happening in terms of the COP28, and of course I wish you all the best, but I hope again Africans are gonna be wise enough to know and understand what is going on. It's so sad to see that African people don't know what is going on. It is so sad. Super crazy. Moving on swiftly, we just spoke about flooding, and as we still continue the issues of flooding, it's crazy to see in Ethiopia, still among the countries affected by flooding, there's an outbreak of cholera. Now you tell me, why would they lack an outbreak of cholera, which comes from dirty water? We're talking about flying toilets, you know. Let's say in places like Kibera, if it's flooded in Kibera right now, everyone is gonna be sick and die over there. It's a flying toilet type of thing. If it's not flying toilets, we have toilets outside, and these toilets are not even well constructed, literally. So of course the water gets in and drags out all the waste and everything. We have sewages left, right, and center. Our environment is not even well kept, but we're talking about climate change. Why don't you start with the climate change? Is literally even where I'm seated on. I need to breathe clean air. That is part of it. I need to breathe clean air. But it's sad Africans will inhale, exhale sewages. That's all that's literally there. So in Ethiopia, they're saying at least 23 people have died in a new cholera outbreak that hit communities displaced by recent floods in eastern Ethiopia, and the charity Save the Children gave the information. In a statement on Thursday, the UK-based relief agency has said more than 770 cases of cholera have been confirmed in just 2 weeks in the Somali region. They are worst hit by the recent floodings, and the unusual heavy rains. The downpours have affected 1.5 million people across the country, with the numbers forced to leave their homes reaching 600,000 by the UN. That is the UN information. The UN is always everywhere, but only 10% of the affected were recently received, have received aid, as Ethiopia continued to struggle with gaps in funding. It added, this is one of the most richest country in terms of different many resources, but apparently, and we know Ethiopia is literally under attack in terms of war because of what they were trying to do in terms of development as a country. It's just super crazy. More than 90 districts across Ethiopia have reported cases of cholera, with a Save the Children warning the situation could worsen more as rains are expected to at least 3 regions. The heavy rains that hit Ethiopia along with Somali, Kenya are induced by El Nino weather phenomenon, as well as another known as the Indian Ocean dipole. Well, that is what is happening. I hope this, I don't know, Kitty, what do you have to say?
It's crazy because at the end of the day,
because we need to understand cholera, of course, is gonna hit the people because of the sanitary
and
situation.
I'm even wondering, how do they expect these people not to be affected by cholera, typhoid, bilharzia? There's a lot of there's a lot of dirty water flowing everywhere, and you expect these people, they will be spared by such diseases like cholera, typhoid, bilharzia, and other waterborne diseases. You know, it doesn't make sense. And at this point, if these people, it's crazy how we expect even the government to help, and we know it won't help. Because we've seen people dying because of floods.
Yeah.
And the government was just watching. Right now, people are dying because of cholera.
Yeah.
And the government is watching and reporting it to us. So what? Okay, people are dying. So what do we do? What have you done to help the situation yourself? You're just reporting it to me. But what have you done yourself to help the situation? You know, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, because even right here in Kenya, you shall hear it's the next part, or it's the next country to be affected by cholera. Waterborne diseases. It's something that makes sense, because one, we have
especially
pit
in
latrines.
Mombasa. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. In Mombasa, it's very possible.
We have pit latrines.
Excuse me.
And once there's flooding, water also goes to the pit latrines. And once those pit latrines are full of water, the pee starts coming out. So what will happen to the people? They will get all these waterborne diseases. And they will start dying one by one. But the government is busy reporting to us instead of finding a solution to it. But you know, the solution will always be a VACCN. So it doesn't make sense. And I feel, you know, most of the time we're just here to feel sorry for the people, because we're just spreading information and creating awareness. There's nothing more than that we can do. Rather than creating our own environment and making it clean, there's nothing more than that we can do. Because I cannot wake up one day and decide I'm going to cure cholera. I don't know how to do it. I don't have the right even governments to go and work with people with cholera. So instead of now just sitting down and doing nothing, at least I'm trying to create information and knowledge. But what is the government doing?
Nothing.
Rather than reporting it to us? We know there's cholera, so what? What do we do next?
Shout out to the people of Ethiopia, Somalia, and Kenya, because now we're talking about these 3 countries where we've seen floods. In the same case, if you can see, Somalia is already affected by it. Ethiopia is affected by it. Trust me, it's also coming to Kenya. Because again, copy and paste of situation, there's always outbreak in every African country once another country is affected by something. So the question goes back to the people. Again, you need revolution. I don't know how Ethiopia, Somalia, it's hard to see, and this, I'm sorry to say, but I see weaklings in Somali and Ethiopia. All I see when I look at Somali and Ethiopian people, I'm sorry to say, in terms of even men, I'm not talking about women, men, I see weaklings. I'm so sorry. Don't feel attacked, but that's just what it is. I see nothing but just weaklings who are not able to stand up for their country, have no idea what is going on, very busy calling themselves Arabs. Because surely you don't even exist here, majority of you. You are not supposed to be here. Majority of you are mulattoes. That is just a fact. I see weaklings. But anyway, we all want to take a short musical break as I sip some water personally, and of course, we shall be coming back with more news and updates, and I'll be coming back with what is happening in the 254. This is something Katie mentioned during the week, but I want to tackle deep on it, about the International Criminal Court withdrawing the charges of our very, very beloved President William Ruto, who yesterday, did you see, it was yesterday, he imported a whole Rolls Royce
with William Samvoev. Samvoev Ruto. Yeah?
We did
And
it.
man,
This
is crazy.
75 million.
75 wow, the Rolls Royce
We shall be coming
with
back.
a fake name on it.
Tell a fake name again.
Samvoev.
Oh, no, yeah, of course the blogs won't use the name, to avoid. Ujaona ule mtu ameshikwa juu ya kutukana Ruto.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, the name is actually Samvoev. It's not Samvoev. It's Samvoev even on the receipts.
Oh.
Yeah, when it got to JKIA, the receipts were reading
Wait.
Samvoev. I have the receipts.
This guy didn't fool us like that. Wait. You used fake names. Okay, sawa. We're coming back. This is Kilo Bachelor. Hope you guys get to enjoy. And of course, I see Samuel in the building. You are talking about what is happening in Guyana and Venezuela. You saying that, what do you guys think about the possible war between Guyana and, you're talking about the 1899 war, which Kit was telling us about, that was last Friday, which actually that is how Africa should go. We should go the Venezuela way. But I mean, talk about the majority of the number of the people who are willing to go that direction. Coming back after this short musical break, Skilo with Bachelor.
Nampenda nani msichana mmoja mtaani, nampenda nani msichana mmoja sidhani. Kuna Ivy na Irene na kati ya hao wote sijapata wifi. Kuna wa IT na kantin kwa kambi ya mabana, siogopi imagine. Kuna Fatma wala Costa anapenda kunikoroga, eti ni viatu amekosa tukipatana makosa, anapenda kunusa koka alafu mpaka monda. Baba na mama waliniambia niwache raha za dunia, nimeshindwa vumilia, nikiwacha najipata nimerudia. Baba na mama waliniambia niwache raha za dunia, nimeshindwa vumilia, nikiwacha najipata nimerudia. Mimi bachelor boy, mimi bachelor boy. Sinangade niko na madem, sishikisi niko na madem, wanajiuliza nitaoa lini. Sinangade niko na madem, sishikisi niko na madem, wanajiuliza nitaoa lini. My baby mama Maria, kasi baby mama drama, I swear ningemari hakuna mama wa haria, kujaribu kunikalia, hajui mimi Taliban nakadika kole. Down for whatever, bora form ni mtore, kwa wangu wasowe, ushinda na marivasa kidai ni muokole. Mi kupitia machoche, I support single mothers, ukinijali it's okay, nimechoka na Christina.
And you're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio.
Yes, this is the Black Hot Fire Radio, and of course, welcome back to still with us, the women who understand politics. This is the Pan-African Diary, and of course, listening to the media of the 21st century. 7 minutes past 2 p.m. We're on the second hour of our discussion, and I hope you guys are enjoying. For those who shall be catching this on a replay, we hope you can give us your thoughts regarding what is happening in Ethiopia, Somali, Kenya, what we've also spoken about in Cameroon, also featuring Ghana, Malawi. Literally copy and paste of situation. That is what we can just see, what we're discussing over here. We've also spoken about the spread of cholera that is in Ethiopia, and of course a bunch of things that we had to talk about. Like I promised, we are back with the ICC Criminal Court. Okay, the International Criminal Court, sorry, that is the ICC, where we've seen President William Ruto case has been dismissed, and of course they're saying that ICC did terminate the case. This I think was on Wednesday. They terminated the case against President William Ruto, and the International Criminal Court said that was on Monday that it is closing up investigations into 6 Kenyan suspects suspected of crimes against humanity committed following the 2007 presidential elections. After assessing all the information, I quote what they're saying, available to me at this time, I have decided to conclude that the investigation phase in the situation in Kenya, I have reached this decision after considering the specific facts and circumstances of this situation. That is the ICC deputy who gave the speech and the information. I'm not shocked, of course. Uhuru, the same happened. Let me check on that. But we know, I don't know about the other 4, but I know the 2, because those were the big 2 who we used to see every time the mainstream media bringing the information of what is happening in the International Criminal Court. Of course, we have videos of people testifying to this. Of course, witnesses have disappeared again. Evidences also did disappear. So I'm not surprised, and why we have him being congratulated right now. Did you see, guys? Did you see Ruto getting a standing ovation for his speech from all white people in a certain meeting? I can't remember which meeting, but this guy got a whole standing ovation for giving speech, you know, and for being a good master of Kenya and the West. Come on, thoughts?
Well, when a white man praises you, you've lost it. Anyway, back on the ICC case. This case has not been there.
Yeah.
It has not been there. Literally, when did you hear last that Ruto has gone to the courts? We know court hearings are always ongoing for like, even if it's like 1 month.
This is why we have, let me ask Google for you. When was the last time Ruto went to the International Criminal Court? The trial of William Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang began on 10th September in 2013 and ended on April 2016.
It's actually ended.
Damn.
There has not been any case. It's just the dismissal that has not been
with
done.
All the charges being dismissed. During the investigation, the ICC prosecutor also charged Waita Baraza, Paul Gisheru and Philip Bet with crimes against administration of justice. So that was in 2016 that he was last there.
And I'm even wondering, you know, this case has not been there. The case was dismissed long time ago. It was just that not announced to the public.
Let me see.
The moment they start saying that they don't have enough evidence and the witnesses are disappearing, that's when the case was over.
The witnesses just got lost.
Because Ruto has not even been going to hearing of the proceedings, to the court proceedings, even online. Because if he was, we could know as a country. But when was the last time? Never know. So the case has not been there.
Let me see about Uhuru Kenyatta.
Uhuru was the first one to be dismissed.
Yeah, I know, because he was president. I mean, he was president, and this should make even sense why we have Uhuru as president and then Ruto, because they are both culprits of what really happened. But I don't know much about it. Give us your thoughts regarding it. Were you affected by the 2007 elections? And what is the list of what you know of the information? Na pia usiseme mingi, unasema mingi pia ukujue kule huko, unajua wewe utasemekana we ni witness, the eyewitness. So be very, very, very careful of the information you're spreading outside there. I don't know if you have any news and updates, Katie, before we get to move on.
Yes, before we get to continue, I see it's a decade since Bobi Wine moved from Uganda, and he is officially back, and he claims to be transformed. Remember, he left
From Uganda?
Bobby Wine. He's from
Uganda, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, read the statement again.
And he claimed that he was actually, it's like he was being fought in Uganda because of homophobia. He was homophobic. So right now he's back, and he claims to be fully transformed.
Okay.
And he has said the Ugandan opposition leader and a former pop star Bobby Wine. You remember there's a song he did against homosexuality.
Yeah.
So this is what made a lot of criticism come to him. So right now he's saying that I'm fully transformed. I'm not homophobic anymore, and see me as a leader. Stop seeing me as a homophobic man. But Ugandan opposition leader and a former pop star Bobby Wine has told the BBC we grow and transform after being asked about homophobic lyrics to one of his songs that reportedly got him banned from he was banned from the UK, not Uganda.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
I thought I said it's from Uganda. I'm sorry.
You
He
got
was
me
banned from the
confused.
Uganda a decade ago. And the ban has apparently been lifted, and he is now back in the UK for a visit, captioning a photo of himself outside BBC's London office on Wednesday. London, it's been 10 long years. Addressing the controversial song, which appeared to encourage people to be violent towards gay people, he told the BBC's World Tonight program, "We grow and we transform. I am a product of very many second chances, and I want to be known for being a leader that is respectful and inclusive for everybody." Bobby Wine, whose real name is Robert Chagulanyi, ran unsuccessfully against Uganda's long-serving president Yoweri Museveni in 2021 election, and the opposition leader who came second disputed the results, which saw Mr. Museveni win his sixth elected term in office. Looking to the 2026 election, Bobby Wine called on the UK, EU, and the US to put conditions on their collaborations with Uganda that included the respect for democracy and the free and fair elections. He said if those were in place, then we would definitely win in 3 years' time. So Bobby Wine has been banned for over a decade in the UK for his homophobic lyrics on one of his songs. And
Now he's back.
now he has been allowed the sanctions, it's like sanctioning, the ban has been lifted.
The sanction has been lifted.
Yeah, the ban has been lifted, and he's very welcome to go to the UK right now. And you see, he's talking about the elections, and of course the ban has been lifted because
of the
of the 2026 election. And he has said, "See me as a leader from now henceforth, and a person who is inclusive of everybody." So what does this tell you? Remember, in right now Uganda is being discriminated by the EU,
Actually, it's so many countries.
by the EU, the US, and the UK for its homophobic nature or its homophobic laws. And I saw after this ban or after these sanctions, remember Uganda right now is sanctioned by a lot of countries like the US, the UK. It has said that now it's working with the Chinese. It was it was this week actually. I was reading on Monday, Uganda received $150 million from China to improve its internet. And
I saw it.
previously it had received I don't know how many billions from China to build its pipeline, the whole project that is doing with the Tanzania, the pipeline project with the Tanzania. So I'm like, okay, so right now, since the UK, the US has banned you, you have to turn to the other worse evil. Remember, I keep on wondering what's wrong with Africa. Don't we see that China is a made-up country that just only came into existence abruptly? It was abruptly that China came into existence, and right now China is superior than any other countries, and it's lending money to African countries just like that. It's crazy that Africans are not even curious, or maybe they know this, they just ignore this. But also ask yourself, I remember China is a baby from the US. it's a made-up country by the US.
Yep.
So why would the Chinese be allowed to give money to this homophobic country, and yet the US has sanctioned it? Because the goal is always the same, to make sure you are indebted.
I think there's something Keith mentioned to me, and I kind of agree with it at some point. This guy didn't ban homosexuality in his country. It's still there.
Of course, it's still
It's
there.
still there. Because I think, I can't remember the case of the two who were found, what really happened to them, but the seriousness of the, you know, of the doings was not really taken that serious. And of course, a lot has been going on. You know, we saw him being withdrawn from the AGOA. Then he was returned. He begged Joe Biden to not do this. Uganda needs this. You know, again, he comes back and say, oh, you know, Africa, you are, especially us as Uganda, we're very stable. We don't need your money. We don't need nothing from you. So I think it's always just the patriotism talk. That's how simple I'll put it. Is not really intended, or rather, Uganda is not under any sanction, and I bet none of the decision makings that claim to be, you know, according to Africans or favoring Africans, it's not so. Because if you really meant what he meant, we'd be seeing, like you're talking about sanctions, so many sanctions left, right and center hitting him, but none of that is happening. Well, shout out to Bobby Wine. We know he's the next puppet. That is all I'm gonna say. And shout out to him for saying that you know, he has grown and he has transformed, and that he's respectful and inclusive for everybody. So from there, of course, especially when you say everybody, we know what you're hitting on. We know your directive motion, your directive message to the people you want to talk to. So meaning you're willing to engage with all gender, you know, in the world, and you support literally children, you know, being forcefully being butchered, because that's how simple I'll put it. It's just being changed their agenda and all that just because they feel some type of way. That is just super crazy. That is what is happening in Uganda. Well, I can't wait to see the elections, how they're gonna go.
I also can't wait, but we know right now Museveni is giving up. Of course, this is why they are lifting sanctions for Bobby Wine, lifting bans for Bobby Wine, so that now they can allow him to vie for presidency. I bet it's a new, it's a time for a new puppet.
It is.
And this is why now they are grooming him with all this, and right now he includes everybody in his talks.
Well, something else I also want to talk about. There's some news and information I was seeing about where, due to climate change, again, going back to it, animals need to be saved. And we're talking about baboons. This is in, I think it is in Rwanda, if I'm not wrong. Let me try to get the article. I can't really see it right now. Let me see. Well, I can't find it, but they're supposed to evacuate some baboons from, I'm not sure which country. Let me see. Saved from climate change. Or I can't see it, but I wanted to read it out loud, and personally I was in disagreement of it. I think this issue of bulk import and especially exports of animals, personally I disagree with it. Coming from Africa, we've seen all types of behaviors and what is happening when it comes to them taking monkeys. I remember there's a time Kenya and which country? Not Australia. There was Kenya and I don't know which Western nation. They had made a deal on exportation of monkeys, and this actually was them taking the monkeys for laboratory tests, and majorly I think this is why they come up with this VSCCINEs, you know, which are not literally what we really need. I'll find the story later and then I'll share it on the Rhythm Scoop Show.
On the story of animals, I'll see in Sudan there's a rescue operation for 15 lions in the water in Sudan, and I'm like, are people fighting in even game parks? Because it doesn't make sense. Nobody lives in the game park, so why would you go and attack lions?
It's crazy. Lions are supposed to attack you.
Yeah, they're saying hungry, vulnerable, and scared by more than 7 months by of a relentless conflict in Sudan, 15 lions were evacuated from outskirts of the capital to east of the country by 4PAWS organization during an ultra-sensitive mission in a war zone. Lions, hyenas, wildcats, birds, in all, nearly 50 animals were evacuated last week by 4PAWS from a reserve near Khartoum, managed by the Sudan Animal Rescue Center. The Austrian Association said in the press release. In an hour's drive southeast of Khartoum, the Al-Bagir Reserve is near a military base that is fighting. Osman Sahil, founder of Sudan Animal Rescue Center. Many shells and bombs fell on the refuge, damaging the infrastructure and injuring some of the animals, continues 39-year engineer. The war between the military and paramilitaries that has been raging in Sudan since April 15 has already claimed more than 10,000 lives, according to the NGO Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, an estimated considered to be grossly underestimated. So I think they are saying they are evacuating these animals because there's a war going on around where they are, and they are saying it's a mission to rescue them.
Well, personally, I don't believe it. Anywhere Mzungu is involved, it's a red flag for me. That's all I'm gonna say. Anywhere a white man is involved in terms of especially saving Africans or rescuing us from our own problems, personally I disagree with it. We've seen what the UN has done. You find it's the same, always the groups created by the same people, different names, controlled by the same people, just always coming to look for benefits in Africa. Well, I can't tell at this point why they want to take the lions, but there's a time I was doing a show.
It's not only lions, they are taking
hyenas,
birds
and
wildcats.
Yeah, I mean, just hear the creepy shit here. Who wants a wildcat? Literally, for study, okay, fine, but in what way or in what form of study? Because white people, again, they're weird. It's only white people that have this type of weirdness. But anyway, as we move on, I want to talk about something that happened today in the morning. I don't know if Kitty, you bumped into the video, and I'm proud to see. As much as I'm proud, I'm questioning this. Is this the government of Ruto doing this? So we've had two traffic, not really two, but literally traffic police officers are being arrested because of them taking bribe. And there's a video that has been circulating online, so you come on Instagram. But yeah, two police officers were arrested this morning, and it has been under investigation where they have been literally observed on camera multiples of times, and under what should I call it? And I told CIA, yeah? A CIA was literally doing an investigation of what is happening on camera. They have been caught multiple of times taking bribe from drivers, and if you refuse, you're going to be arrested. At some point, they even threaten you because they have been given also access to the guns. But I see right now there's some information that has come out about it, where they shall not actually, no traffic or police officers shall be having guns anymore. And they're saying the traffic police officers have been banned from carrying firearms on duty by the Inspector General Police Japhet Kome, and through Deputy Inspector General Kenya Police Service Miriam Moli, in a letter addressed to all Command Traffic Director Operation. The directive takes effect from 30th of November, which was yesterday, and this follows actually what the police described as increasing cases of traffic officers misusing their firearm. And they do. I've seen it personally. They do. Utashikwa na utadragiwa tu kwa stage. Imagine uende utoe tu 10,000 Kenyan shillings, which is $100. 1,000, yeah? 10,000, $100, huh? Are you gonna take literally $100 because you didn't buy someone chai? This is something positive personally to report, and I'd really love to understand if there's a change.
But what will happen to them?
What will happen?
Will they be punished?
They should be punished. They should,
but will they?
Well, that's one thing I don't know, but like I'm saying, that was the positive effect. I can see that they're serious about this, where two of them were arrested today, and I saw the video, it's circulating online. Two of them were arrested because they were seen multiple of times through the route that they're supposed to be observing traffic. They've been taking money and harassing citizens. So wameshikwa leo, and that is something, the wakapelekwa police station. So from there, we don't know what is the procedure, if they're going to face the charges, rather if they're gonna end up in prison. Personally, believe prison should be the best for me. Okay.
Yeah, they should
Cause
be taken a heavy, they should be taken heavily because these people, they have eaten a lot of money from Kenyans' pockets.
Instead, they're saying it has been noted with great concern that officers actively engage in traffic duties and are armed, carrying firearms, and this has led to misuse of firearms by officers. Traffic commander has also been instructed to ensure that orders are followed from 30th of November, which was yesterday, till 30th. Wait. From 30th of November, no office is actively on traffic duty will carry a firearm, and no officer actively on traffic duty will carry, or I don't know what they mean by that, but that is basically
Traffic
what is
officers
happening.
have guns.
Yeah, they do. So actually, the why I was
Why do you need a gun as a traffic officer?
I even don't know. Why I was shocked earlier today when I saw those two being arrested. I was like, sasa wao wakitoka jela alafu wende watafute ama karao wamewashika. You know they're going to shoot each other. Like literally, it's gonna end up bad. Because if I get access to the firearm and you come arrest me as your fellow police officers, and I know the corruption in our system, literally I'll come look at you, I'll come find you. Because that got something I can literally just, you know, and claim is thugs and everything. But that is what is happening. That is something positive, literally to report. And I hope these actually measures or new laws that have been brought out are going to be followed by these traffic police officers, because it has become a norm in every Africa. This is not just in Kenya. In every African country, this is what we're facing. This is what we're facing. You'll find sometimes people are stuck in traffic just because a police officer is there. Wanachelewa job. You're literally getting late for work, but because a police officer is greedy, until the driver gives money, you'll either up to a board, get another matatu, or wait if you're gonna be patient. It is crazy. This kind of behaviors need to be changed. That is something positive to report, and I hope it is literally with immediate effect. I really, really hope. But moving on, I don't know if you know today it is World AIDS Day. Yeah, and this is I don't know what basically. I didn't know it, actually 1st of December it is always World
it's always
HIV.
celebrated. It's always everywhere. Right now, even if you go to hospitals, you'll find a lot of posters.
Okay.
Yeah, I've grown up and knowing, even in schools, you would see people posting those things. But in December, most of the time, I went fast. I remember there was a time that December found us in school. I don't know how.
That is crazy. We're in a crazy
Yeah,
school.
17th of December
What?
is. There's even this year we closed the school on 23rd of December.
I mean, unless you're a class 8 or you're going for
No,
tuition.
you are not a class 8. It's
Or
that
from
time.
4 going for
I
tuition.
remember. Do you remember when teachers striked for like 4 months in Kenya?
Yeah.
That time I was still in school, so the whole school calendar was affected.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. There's a time, I remember that because it got to a point even which led to the changing of the curriculum. Because I do
the
recall.
school calendar, not
Yeah.
curriculum.
The
At that time,
calendar.
it was the school calendar that was changed.
So that is what I remember that, and it was very effective because I remember my brothers were really struggling with all that. So I do recall. But I say the World AIDS Day was designated on 1st of December every year, and that was since 1988. And it is an international day dedicated to raising awareness of AIDS pandemic caused by the spread of HIV infection and mourning those who've died through the disease. Well, this is something amazing, but again, I think this year we've read there's a time in Kenya the rate of HIV and AIDS went very high. So I want to understand
Even up to date, the rate of HIV and AIDS infection is very high, especially on the young people.
exactly in South Africa. Talk about it, man. Super crazy.
But in South Africa, we can blame homosexuality being okay.
Yeah. Well, personally, I'd love to question the founders of this particular day and which it is designated specifically for creating awareness. So if this happens every year, how comes we still have the number of HIV and AIDS going high? How come?
Nowadays, it's not being taken seriously. But remember when we were
Yeah.
I remember when we were little. There's nothing we used to fear as HIV and AIDS.
You couldn't even share a spoon. Like me,
Damn,
me
I
couldn't.
couldn't.
Me couldn't believe someone telling me, G, oh, you can't. Me up, Anna. What?
You couldn't share utensils. What do you mean?
I mean,
you
until
couldn't. You know, my mom used to tell us there's a family that we know that had HIV and AIDS, and she was like, those people have HIV and AIDS, and from that day, I never go to their place. I feared playing with the children. Because, you know, the stigmatization that used to come, Kitambo, it was so heavy. The
so bad.
stigmatization that used to come with you having HIV and AIDS. I remember there was a time, I didn't know. I had bought a new lip gloss, and you know, we are still young. I had bought a new lip gloss, and then one of them used it. And then somebody told me, do you know those people have HIV? I threw it away.
Would you right now?
I wouldn't. Damn.
You still have the insecurity, yeah?
I still have the insecurity, but I wouldn't throw the lip gloss
No,
away.
and that's why I'm asking, like, would you share, you know, a
A
plate?
lip gloss.
Then a plate with someone who has AIDS.
Of course I would. It's washed. It's clean.
Yeah.
I would.
Okay.
You know, it's the stigmatization. We were told to believe that HIV, you cannot survive. We were taught to believe that. I remember even during there were these times these days we used to call cinema days in school.
Yeah.
So we had this guy that used to come to our school. We used to call him Uncle Cinema. Uncle Cinema would come with movies Zara Rambo, Idi Amin. He was the one who showed me that Idi Amin movie of him eating people. And now the last one, he would come. He would make sure that he has a video that shows a person who got infected with HIV and AIDS. And now they always say that HIV and AIDS comes from sharing even utensils, even without even saying that you need to wash them. They just told us sharing. They didn't even tell us details. Also, getting into sexual intercourse, and most of the time those were sad stories because I used to show us people who are raped, who are deceived by rich men.
That was a bad one. We were kind of scared. That one was trying to, of course there's supposed to be that fear, you know, because you're being educated to take care of yourself. Don't go, especially when you get sexually active, don't go just spreading your legs or, you know, just sleeping with any girl
But
as a
why
man.
would you show that to kids?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That is he did it in the wrong way because that was you. He was really terrifying
that man
you.
traumatized
That
me
is
up to
terrifying
date.
you.
He traumatized me up to date. Do you know he could show us that those videos had everything? The private parts of people with the gonorrhea. Imagine you're just a baby, you're just at the age of like 11 or maybe you are 10. You're in class 3. You're being showed people with gonorrhea. Imagine people with syphilis and you're like, I don't know these things, but now you're scared. You're scared of people even touching you like this. You're like, no, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Me, I used to tell even people don't touch my head. You stop touching me.
Personally, I think for us, our awareness was brought very clearly, and I think this is something that needs to be reintroduced in schools. It needs to, because I don't think it's there anymore. I believe actually we should be having projectors. Yeah, we should, every school, like what we saw Mr. Bing do, we should be having projectors that can show such kind of, not terrifying films like that.
Yeah,
not like what Kate is talking about.
terrified me.
You know, we should have literally, because I remember for us, I can't remember, it was like a movie we were watching.
Yeah, it's always like that. Those cinema days, you are paying how much?
5 bob.
5 bob?
Yeah.
The least we paid was 10 bob, and that I was in class 2. And then henceforth we started paying 20 bob. And I remember when I was in class 8, the least we paid was 30 bob.
Alright.
So he used to come with the 3 films. Imagine you're in class 3 being
They
shown.
talk with those big sticks.
Those are now acrobats.
So us used to have acrobats.
We used to
and
have
then films.
cinema days. We used to have acrobats days. Where these are, and those people who are very intelligent. What do we call them? What were we calling them? Not magicians. They were not really magicians, but we used to
Advisors.
call them magicians.
Advisors.
No, they were not advisors. We used to call them magicians. Those who could do what to a box, it becomes big. Those who could get into a small
Magicians.
yeah, we used to call them magicians.
Yeah.
But Uncle Cinema traumatized us.
So for us, I remember it used to be a film, and that's when I remember I picked the Eve song. Who's the girl, like her AIDS song, because I was traumatized by that song. And Kila Mikimo, I don't know, I think it's a reggae song, something like that. So every time I could hear those two songs, and even up to date, till I changed my mentality. I used to think these are AIDS song, and I'm not gonna listen to an AIDS song. You know, I'm not going to listen to an AIDS song at all. But personally, I'm gonna say to specify on this day being the 1st of December, and it's been on World AIDS Day. I believe actually this awareness or creation of awareness that was designated for this day should actually not be a 1 year thing. It should be an, let's say, every month type of a
Do
thing.
you know, I even grew up knowing that rich men with the vitamins, they have HIV and AIDS.
Lol.
Rich men. You see these rich men, they have HIV and AIDS. And if they talk to you, they want to transmit HIV and
Oh
AIDS.
damn.
So I used to see a rich man and run.
God damn.
You're driving a car,
You
you're
are
a rich
traumatized.
man.
You are really
I was traumatized.
You're really
man.
traumatized. So personally, I believe it should be brought forth actually every month. Personally, starting with schools, children should be taught all this. Sharing of blades is wrong. Because I see children nowadays, especially kucheza tu kalongo. You know, I remember I used to go. I don't know if you guys used to do that, but I used to go pick wembe just from anywhere. Tukatekate timboga.
And now that was something you can never touch in our home.
Walai, guys.
Do
you
you
have
know
not
we used to
explored
point
childhood.
razors like this?
You-
You cannot touch that thing in our home. Like, I don't know how my
You
mom
find
made
them on the ground though. Like
You
let's say, like,
cannot even pick it. I don't know how my mom made us fear razor blades like that, because I remember even my brothers, they couldn't. You know, even we had sharpeners, but sometime you want to use a razor blade. So my mom had one razor blade. Alikuwa naeka, she used to keep it somewhere, and nobody would touch it. Even if you want to use it to cut something, you would
me a knife.
You would take a knife or the scissors. Or now you wait for her, you tell her, Mom, please cut this one for me. You cannot. Even up to date, I don't know if my brother touches razor blades, because I feel this, even that car.
I'm grateful.
feeling.
I'm grateful for the protection I've been given by the universe and the creator. Cause hey yo,
I
I've
remember
explored
The
childhood.
only thing that I did during childhood that could have made me get HIV and AIDS, collecting chewing gums.
You,
I used to
Katie.
collect chewing gums and chew them.
Katie.
I was a child. I was being beaten by my mom.
Yeah, I could beat you
and
too,
still
but what
go
you
and
talking?
collect.
What? He was weird.
Damn!
You sound like Shumani saying she picked up a condom and thought it was a balloon.
Imagine I used to collect chewing gums.
Damn.
So yeah, I keep on looking back at that, and I was like, oh my God, God protects His
I
children,
know.
because imagine. I used to collect chewing gums, and this is not the first. It's not once. My mom would beat me, and I'll repeat it.
Huko unaogopa kuchapwa.
No,
You're not
I don't
scared.
know. I used to love chewing gums, but you are not allowed to chew, I guess, them. The chewing gums are
If
too
our
hot.
mom could touch you, she's beaten you once, you're not gonna do that mistake. The next time you've been beaten is because of another mistake, not the same mistake you're repeating. But personally, just to make it short, yo, I had an amazing experience. I used to go pick blades, but of course, you know, you want to be careful not to cut yourself. The fear of seeing blood and cutting yourself, the pain, you imagining the thought pain of you cutting yourself. So I used to go pick blades, tunakatakata manyasi ama skuma. We do just kalongolongo, chaba,
Imagine
bacha, mama.
tuchukue mabati.
Yo, and we had fun. We had fun. I really did that, and I can say through the protection of the universe children are really, really protected because
By the
what children
way,
really do before they get to that
You
stage
can't
of
watch your
this is
children
wrong.
fully. I remember
Especially in school.
You can't watch them fully. Not
Yeah.
even in school. Imagine on the way from
To
school
school.
to home. I used to collect like chewing gums. Today I pick here.
Yeah, wait, maybe I used to
Yeah.
climb trees.
Imagine chewing gums.
I used to climb trees. I used to go to, so instead of us going directly home, as we get to the main focus, before we used to go directly home, we used to go, my friends and I remember, 3 of us girls, we used to go to neighboring homes, steal the products we don't have. Let's say if we have avocado, now I used to love, this kitukali mkwaju. I loved ukwaju so much, literally, like I was obsessed. So every
Tamarind.
yeah, I used to go every time, steal them every time, till one day we were found. Then I really got very hurt because of kushuka kwa mti mbio mbio. So ever since I was like, ever, never, never again. Then to be caught now, why I'm always getting late from school, nilipatikana kwa mti na nko yangu. Alivunja hiyo mti akatupiga naye na tukaambiwa enda nyumbani.
Man, up to date, I keep on thinking about me collecting chewing gums all the time. Imagine you will never find me even disposing a chewing gum on the road because I
You're
feel
scared,
like
you're the phobia.
I'm scared of a child who is like me, who might
At
feel
least
the
it made
urge.
you disciplined. It made you disciplined because right now you see you have the phobia of not doing the same because you're scared of
The
now you know, the
child.
thought of what seeing how
Yeah.
disgusting that was. Of course, you don't want to see a child pick up your big. I don't want to see my.
God, God protected us.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean,
I don't know, but we got comments. I see Keith has something to say on TikTok, and I see John Mosquito on building in the building. Diary-Ecowas, karibuni sana.
okay. I see Keith is saying, allow me to join. Keith,
Okay, all right. I didn't
join on the test.
Yeah, join on test kindly, Keith, if you can, so that the audience on YouTube can also be able to hear you kindly.
And also you're saying, because he is the new puppet, of course, he's talking about Bobby
Bobby
Wine.
Wine.
And also you're saying exactly 100% Katie. And also you're saying, damn, the ignorance in Africa is crazy. Man, it is crazy.
It
is
is.
crazy. But also you're saying, lol, Uncle Cinema, damn. Yes, Uncle Cinema traumatized my childhood, man.
How do you see people with gonorrhea? Huo mtu hakuwa anawatakia.
Anatuonyesha hadi
That's why I didn't want you to survive your childhood, you know. But anyway, I see John Mosquito in the building also says, let me get in and see what John Mosquito says. I see Samuel says, I think I read that. John Mosquito says, hello there everyone, hello to you too, hope you're doing amazing. And I also see John Mosquito said, happy born day Jobida Nelson Moi. Thank you so much. Actually, it is my pre-birthday today, not the actual day. My main day, born day, is 3rd of December, but as always, I'm always finding myself just doing the pre-parties because they fall on the bad day. But I also see you saying, John Mosquito, Katie, you can't talk about politics wearing those
Why
shades.
not? Why not? Why not?
But understanding is not coming from the glasses.
Why not? Are you not seeing me clearing?
Understanding is not coming from the glasses.
Anyway, I have an issue with the lights. Yeah.
Too much light. But I also see Derek Askew is saying hello to you too, and of course welcome to today's amazing episode. As we get closer to winding up, because I see we got a few minutes. I don't know if Keith you'll be able to make it, but kindly come on test if in case you have any remarks you want to give regarding what we're talking about. I'm waiting for you over there. Swiftly to the main topic of the day, ECOWAS meeting, which is scheduled on 10th of December in Abuja. They say that the next summit, I don't know if I shared the video or just the article, but I'd love to hear what Tinibo is saying personally. I love African puppets. Okay, their speeches literally impressed me at some point.
The next summit of the Economic Community of West African States in crisis after a series of recent military coups will take place on December 10th in Abuja, the Ivorian presidency announced on Thursday.
Okay, so even the meeting is not even being held because they have any other agendas to discuss. The coup, that is the number one thing they talk about, the coups.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
It took a long time for Joey to finally look about an hour. Jesus Christ. First I want to say,
I
gotta
didn't know
go
you
back
had
over.
requested.
I know you didn't look. I like Jesus Christ. Let me go. Go back to the beginning. Jesus, when Katie Katie's 22. How does a 22-year-old young lady understand shit and a despot doesn't? When Katie was talking about the loans that were given to African people, then you got to hire their people. So you're not even getting a loan because the money's going back to the same people because you've been forced to hire their people to build the road. So the money's going right back to them. So you get the scam, and then they build such roads. The roads are not really good.
Yep.
They're not high quality.
That's
So,
true.
they give you an exorbitant loan. You give the money right back to them. So you get right back to pay their people, which makes no sense. So how does Katie know that 22 and these dead spots don't run? And the more I in Africa don't understand this. And there's another point, there's a law that Katie made that was after that one. And then she's only 22. How does a 22-year-old understand all this? And I got these old ass Negroes that are 50 and 60 years old don't. These more.
Well, like I think she explained it very well because the money is given on conditions, you know. So this is why we have the despots always. Because it's crazy. Like I just questioned for her to explain that, you know. How do you get money and you're still gonna be ordered how to move with the money, you know? And even despite what you do, it's still poorly and even poorly done. And even most of the times not even complete or even not done at all. We have so much funds always allocated for every problem we see Africa facing. But you wanna tell me, come on, that is what basically it has been made to be, what she said, you know. That is how they want to keep on they want to keep Africa locked in a begging.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. So also when Kim was talking about the global climate family, and also you gotta stop saying the homophobic word. That's a word that they created. It's not homophobic because you disagree with homosexuality. That's a think tank. Remember they use psychology. That's a fake word. Homophobic, some word they made up. Because you're not don't agree with homosexual lifestyle, you're homophobic. I'm not none of that shit. I don't agree with the lifestyle. But because they would make you use their fake made up words. But another point Katie was saying is so true, you'll never develop with this fake climate change. First of all, it's a scam, fam. It's a lie. It's how the elitists are now, I don't like to call these white people white Qataris elite. These individuals that run the planet, their whole banking scam is dying. So it's also the raping of Africa again. They're saying, okay, we'll give you fake money that's not worth shit so that you won't develop. The whole thing is to make sure Africa never develops. So, and then also, when you guys are talking about, you know what happening in Kenya, Cameroon, and I think it was Ghana. You guys said that the malaria. You know what? Africans don't touch none of that shit. You don't make it, don't touch none of it. Your goddamn fucked up government, these puppets. Why don't you ever make something that benefits you? Why don't you make it? Why don't you ever make your own shit? Why must I go out and have somebody else make it and keep sending to me like I'm a child? I don't accept nothing if I don't make it. Okay, what you got?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, yeah. Okay, in fact, yeah. But it's always been sent to Africa, and then you find out, oh, these are trials. Listen here, Africans, the trials have been ongoing forever. So understand, your government, you gotta be an adult, or not, do not be despots, do not benefit you. They're in the hands of the Europeans, and they don't give a shit about Africa. They are the worst. Just like this moron who was given only $60 million to put his people in slavery in Israel. This Malawian moron. Dangerous. That he'll come back to Africa, get these Negroes, pick them up, give them nothing. I'm like, what? They said they're going to give them $1,000 to fly there, but they got to pay for the flight. So they got to go, they're going to pick vegetables and stuff in Israel, so they don't get paid nothing. But Our government got only $60 million. But that ain't going to the Malawians. That's going to the puppet pocket. I'm telling you. I'm going to be on the cotton. I'm going to be older. I'm going to cotton with rebels. When these young people tell you that's fucked up, I'm going to sit back. I'm saying, not me. Don't kill me. I'm with you. I'm going to enjoy all of it. Your crimes against the African people are so heinous, so immoral. As a white people on TikTok telling the truth about how immoral you despots are. No one in the world is worse than what you call an African leader. They're not leaders, they're so immoral. And Ruto, being an eye to the IMF puppet, the only reason why his stuff was dropped you guys are talking about is because he's been a complete, absolute puppet for the West. So now they're going to make those charges go away because he's serving the bidding of the individuals that created the criminal court system. Now, Netanyahu with all this Israeli government have committed war crimes. Why is the ICC just, hey, we got to do criminal crimes on the Israeli government? Where's that at? They've been bombing innocent babies. They blew up hospitals with women that having pregnancy. They didn't even kill children. Actually did this. Killed children in incubators. Shutting out the power. So where's the criminal court at for them?
I think by
these
now.
are people that created it.
I think by now we understand that the International Criminal Court is also a made up, just made up in the name of we're here to deal with crime, all international crimes. But come on, we know better right now.
But you're not, exactly. You're not good. that old fake ass criminal court. Only way they ever locked up was the despot 2 minutes. When the despot got out of control, it's all now. Guess what, Negro? You're not gonna have a crime against you. Why? Because you went against what we want you to do. So since Ruto and Uhuru did the bidding of the European masters, we know who was going to do it anyway. His whole family legacy corrupt. His whole family was created by the damn, the cats that run this planet. His whole crooked ass family's crooked. But Ruto now, he's doing, and this ain't the worst leader of Kenya. This is copy and paste. Him, the IMF, he's a puppet of the New World Order. Everything they told him to do, he's doing it. Go get your digital currencies, get your digital wallet, your digital ID. He's telling the kids, hey, it's going to be good. You're not going to worry about carrying that. We're going to chip you. We're going to put a chip in you, dumb Negro. Yay!
It is crazy. But before we get to wind up, let me read what the ECOWAS, rather this meeting that is supposed to be held in Abuja is all about. They say that the next summit of the
puppet organization by the European. Go ahead.
The next summit
what these morons talking about?
Of the Economic Community of West African States is in crisis after a series of recent military coups which will take place in December 10th.
How does a crisis family when real countries get free? See, this is like the East Africa bloc, get a West African bloc that's only, it got an East African bloc that's phony. None of these bootlicking handkerchiefs backwards, bum-ass Negroes control anything. So that's why they got an economic crisis because there were coups. Those coups were justified because the people were actually now getting democracy, and now you see Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have now formed what Joby said, build unity. And then we're going to do everything together as brothers, as African nations. Now they're going to build an airport, all three of them. They're all going to build nuclear power. They're all going to now train themselves for agriculture. And they all got out of it. And they all got out of ECOWAS. Look, that was created by the Europeans. That doesn't benefit anybody African. And all these ECOWAS Negroes are boot-licking, ass-kissing white puppets. Who gives a shit about what ECOWAS has to say about anything. Oh, we're going, all you Negroes have got to be cool. That's the dirty secret. And all you people talking about it. That's why you're scared. And the revolution's coming. You, buddy. I told you, all you Negroes gonna get this work, and it's got to be done. Africans, you can't leave peaceably. Ain't gonna be no, oh, well, let me retire now. You're gonna retire to a grave. And when you retire to a ditch. Because the things you African puppets have done in the 60 years of independence has been disgraceful. You're only lucky because the African is so damn docile. That's the only thing that saves you puppets, that the African is docile. But the new generation is not going to be docile. Because the energy is changing, and you got to have. Africa must be white in blood, and that's going to be justice. You can't, oh, well, I'm sorry, made a mistake. Can we go away? No, you can't go away unless you go away in a ditch. Go ahead.
They say that the next ordinary summit of ECOWAS will take place on December 10th in Abuja, the Nigerian capital, according to the press release issued by President following a meeting.
Let me say something to all the other morons. The world ought to think that they can give Africa aid. They've stolen so much more than Africa, man. I want you to know that. They could have been fixed Africa and everybody on the planet 100 times over if they wanted to. The take IMF, take Foot Bank, Rothschilds and Rockefellers on them, they could have been fixed all of Africa if that's what they wanted to do from the wealth that they stole it. I make sure we understand it. You're putting poverty on purpose. They could have, none of these fake organizations, Katie showed me that other bill. She said me about the U.S. staff and these other people. They never come to help. They come to steal and rob. They could have been fixed Africa and developed this family if that's what they wanted to do. They never want Africa to ever develop. So go ahead, Joe, with these ECOWAS puppets.
The last summit took place. This summit is going to happen in Abuja. That is on 10th of December. The last summit took place on August and was entirely devoted to the situation in Niger following the military coup in 26th of July that overthrew the elected president Mohamed Bazoum, who has since been sequestered, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, in his residency in Niamey. And the heads of state had threatened military intervention to restore President Bazoum.
See, any other country, when you get rid of a puppet, instantly they bubble gum his ass. Like Katie got that nasty bubble gum of other people. God damn, but they bubble gum your ass. But see, Africans, since he's so loving, they got this Negro sitting at home. He's on house arrest. He ain't even in a prison suffering. But any other country, when you overthrow a government, the first thing you do is bubble gum that president. They ain't done that because the Africans are kind-hearted and loving Africans. You better get that kind-hearted bullshit of loving everybody out of your system. It has been your detriment. You're supposed to bend bubble gum his ass. Got him out the face. Because he was working against you and your people. And we know that's a fact. Because now, Niger's one of the fastest growing economy. It wasn't under him, because all your resources were going back to France. And who controls France? Oh, the same Rothschild. Oh, no good back. So, you're supposed to bend bubble gum his ass. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, that is what is happening. I can see basically the meeting is just all about the military coup, and they're saying that Mali, Burkina Faso, being part of the ECOWAS, was suspended. Of course, we know why, but
Suspended, Joe, but they told them Negroes to kick rock. We're not even in this shit. How you gonna suspend us? We withdraw from this bullshit. They told us this is a European colonized imperial system called ECOWAS, and we reject it. We suspended those guys. How you suspend me and I quit? like me telling Katie quit that, I'm tired of your shit, I quit. I'm like, Katie, you're suspended. You're like, what? I quit. What are you talking about? You sound crazy.
It is crazy, man.
How do you suspend me
crazy.
I do hope Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, despite whatever discussion is gonna be held, they should still stand firm and strong with the decision makings they have decided to make. They should literally stand firm and strong. Nothing should change regarding a thing. But that is what is
They stay in firm because the European powers are going to constantly come and try to kill them because that's a domino. They start becoming successful, the other countries around them will say, hey, why not is it not poor no more? What's the poorest countries in Africa? My Mali ain't poor one. Yeah, how can you be poor and you got the majority of the gold in Mali and Burkina Faso and all your gold goes in there? And they talking about this fake dollar. Shout out to the lady told the truth on TikTok. TikTok got a lot of information on the truth. That whenever you get a fake dollar system, family, it always collapses because it's based on nothing. So the American dollar, which rules the world, it's fake. It's phony. It's based on nothing when the Rothschilds and Rockefellers created it. So it's about to collapse. That's why all these schemes are happening. Digital credit, carbon swap. They're trying to make another economy where they control it, and it's all another scam. You're telling them to get your ass with this global climate change shit and swapping carbon. You say, no, I'm not going to do none of that. I'm not going to do no digital currency rules, so I'm not going to do none of it. Because they want to have control of a collapsing system for all the wealth that's in Africa, family. I want you to understand this. Oh, that's what I want to tell you guys. Guess what they do in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Now, this don't cause war. They said we're going to get rid of all Western currency. We're going to create our own currency. Uh-oh. That's what you do when you're independent, finally. That's what you do. You don't keep talking about white people talking points, and Katie's right. If white people stand up for you like Rudo, you know he's a puppet. Because white people never work in the interest of black people. Never, ever, ever, nowhere. So just like shout out to ex-president Samora Machel in Mozambique, he said, if you ever see white people clapping for me and pat me on the back, you know I've already betrayed you. Exactly. So when you see the white people clapping for Rudo and all that, you know he's already betrayed you. He's already in their pocket. But shout out to, I wonder when they go up as they'll get this currency up. But shout out to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger said they're going to create one currency amongst themselves and use the resources, because that's the real money, not no fake paper. Your gold, your cobalt, your diamond, that's what the world bases their money off of. So how's the African money worth less than everybody else's when everything's from Africa? There's no damn dollar. The Kenyan shilling should be 20 times the worth of the American dollar. 20 times. Nigeria, Ghana, Burkina Faso, 20 times the worth of any European or Asian currency. Because you weak ass men.
I'm losing you,
have
kid.
plunged Africa into these.
I'm losing you. I think you're in a bad internet
Yeah,
area.
I'm probably going to bad area. So I'm going to end up. They found it. Shout out to Burkina Faso and Niger and Mali. That's what you do when you get power back. You say, we're making our own currency. And that's what.
Remember to tune in on the Rhythm Scoop Show. And of course, I bet it is Katie, the captain of the show today. So tune in and of course see what we got on the episode of the Rhythm Scoop Show. Once again, shout out to John Mosquito na kucheki TikTok, Tag FM. Once again, thank you. And to everyone who has been with us, those who have followed us, I hope you shall be able to catch up with the rest of the
Shout out to
show.
you, John Mosquito. I guess you're going to have tea with the king today.
Yeah, asante sana, and of course, much love.
Much love. Hope to see you later on the Rhythm Scoop Show.
Yeah, we're coming back in a few minutes, so tune in and of course check out what we shall be
I'm about to
discussing.
go eat your lunch. When do you like to eat lunch?
Yeah,
You had to go eat lunch.
yeah.
Nifanya hii
I'm back in about 15, 20 minutes.
kama
So
fanya
go eat
tena
lunch.
kujigenda